everyone. Welcome to the Lady Coaco Show. How is everybody doing on this Wednesday evening? Generally, we don't do interviews on Wednesday, but I have a very special guest from Jackson, Mississippi. So Wednesday is very vibrant to Lady Coco tonight. Let me say hello to Mr. Darrayl Simmons.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Darrayl?
Man, I'm fantastic. I'm so happy to be here with you on your platform tonight.
And I'm so happy to have you back for the second time.
Yeah, for the second time. That's right.
Yes. And you looking good over there. You smelling good too.
Oh yeah, I'm always smelling good.
You know, all I need to do is ask the wife, right?
That's
Um,
right.
are you smelling good? I know you're looking good, but she'll tell us like, okay, yeah, he needs to do this something different. But
But
so
look, she just let me break off. She let me break off to come do the interview. We're actually doing flowers out in the flower bed. She's outside in the flower bed now.
oh, bless her. You know, I don't even know your wife, but I love her so much. Just to look at her and see you all together, it just really touches my soul. It does.
Oh, I
So,
appreciate that.
how long have you been with that lovely lady?
Well, we've been together about 11 years. We've been married going on 9.
Oh, wow. So you
Yeah.
had broken record because some of us can't go, what they say, 1 month, 3 months.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, you stepped over some things. So that is awesome. But listen, I am so honored to have you here. I'm sharing a little bit. If you want to share, see if you can share on your end, and then
Okay.
we want to get this thing rolling. That's what I'm doing. And welcome everybody to the Lady Coco Show. Mr. J.O. Thomas is in here. Mr. Big Truck Driver. He is
Yeah,
here.
there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Get
Mr.
nice
Big
and
Truck
straight.
Driver. He's gonna be coming to the Lady Coco Show. He's gonna kick us off for the month of June. So listen, let me give you all a little bit of information. This coming weekend, I'm going to be in Lufkin, Texas. It is AL Big Baby Fleming's birthday bash out there, and we have AVL Hollywood, we have Jason A, we have Lakeside, we have OB Buchanan, we have Jay Hammett, the Blind Sensation, we have, I don't want to miss anybody, T Marvin, we have the Country Boy, and I'm hoping I'm not missing anybody. Hosted by your girl, Lady Coco and Miss A. We are all from 103.7 The Mix in Lufkin, Texas. I just left Thomasville, Georgia with DJ Trucker. Let me tell y'all, we had a phenomenal time in Thomasville, Georgia.
You were
They
trucking?
they showed out so bad in Thomasville. I showed out with them too. So I'm still tired. I just got home yesterday.
Wow.
So I just made it a mini vacation. And I believe the month of June we have a show in Greenville, Texas. That promoter is Tenora Smith. I cannot begin to name all those artists. I believe it's at least 18 artists on that show.
Wow.
So I won't start naming. That's one of the biggest shows I'm hosting this year is in Greenville, Texas. Okay. So that's the month of June. It's June 17th, Greenville, Texas. And we have July, there's a show in Houston, Texas. They have several shows for the 4th of July weekend. That promoter out there, he has a comedian club, and he's working with venues also. And so he's putting shows together with the comedy club, also with Southern Soul. So we have a show that's coming up July 2nd. Let me see who we have. August, I'm going to be in Tampa, Florida with Derek the Chainsman Smith. We have a show out there. And then also August 25th, I will be in California with Show J Promotions. That show has um, LJ Eccles, and we have Lacey. She's on that show. And it's a band out there also from California. I always forget the name, but Cheryl J Promotions is over that show. And let's see, September 2nd, I'm going to be in Tylertown, Mississippi with Jason A, Mr. Fred Lowe, Walt Jeezy, Tony T, the producer. He's my co-host for that night. We have Drea CSRJR. We're going to be there in Tylertown. Also in November, I'm going to be in Gambia. That's over in Africa, hosting a
Wow.
wedding there.
Wow.
So we're just all over the place for 2023. So God is good. He's opening those doors and making ways. Yes. So December, I'm wide open. But also in October, I have a Blue Heart Diva conference that we're doing right here in the city of Dallas. And then we have a birthday bash that same day with Tenor. We have Jeff Floyd, Dee Dee Simon, and Mr. Fred Lowe. And we have, I believe we're going to have Queen Danae on that show also. She's part of the conference. And that is October 14th, right here in Dallas, Texas. So we got a lot going on, Darrayl. So what do you have going on besides all of these dates that I'm giving?
Man, let me see. This Friday, I'll be in Vicksburg, Mississippi.
Okay.
Saturday, I'll be in Greenville, Mississippi. I'm doing production on those shows. I can't remember all the artists that are on the show. I think J Marsh Group is on both shows. You got Jeff Floyd, Jeter Jones. Man, I can't remember everybody. I have to see the flyers. But I got that going on. Then in July we have the Jackson Mississippi Music Awards will be going on. Around the end of July, around July 23rd, 24th. Let me see this next date. Yeah, the 23rd and 24th Jackson Music Awards. That's a big deal. And I just can't think of all the shows. I got some more shows going on within the next couple of months. I just can't call them all right now.
Absolutely. I know you can't. But you know what? I want you to, before we get off into the interview, elaborate a little bit about the award show in Jackson, Mississippi. For the ones that are on here, if you don't know who this is my brother. I call him my brother now because we've been just hanging in there and swinging things around. Mr. Darrayl Simmons. So welcome, Darrayl Simmons, to the Lady Coaco Show. So go ahead and elaborate a little bit about the Jackson Awards.
Okay, the Jackson Music Awards. It's a full weekend. Of course, we have a gospel awards on Sunday night. It's fantastic, phenomenal artists. It's a great networking tool. Let me add that to also to any new artists coming out. The Jackson Music Awards is a great networking tool. I encourage any artist to join, to become a part of it. On Monday night, we have the Blues Awards, the R&B Southern Soul Awards. And like I said, it's all a great networking tool, great artists, great show. Lady Coaco, I'm going to send you the information, the flyers and stuff of all the artists who will be there, all the awards we'll be honoring, honorees we'll be honoring and so forth. And
that's what I need to do because I want to make sure I can bring some of the people that, work with me and we can possibly meet because I have a lot of people in Mississippi. I'm looking at Tylertown. They're in the building tonight. And so I want to bring some of those people along. And so I want to make sure we have the ticket information. And I can also bring some of those new and upcoming artists, that I support and promote and allow them to see what the Jackson Awards is all about. Last year, I saw the photos. I'm like, oh my God, I should have been there. And I plan to be there this year, and I want to bring people with me. So they might need to give us a table or a section or something because I believe I can bring some people to that. So.
I'll get all that information to you. And so far, the website also, we give everything to you before the night is over with.
Absolutely.
I've been production manager for the Jackson Music Awards for a number of years now. We have a fantastic committee of people. Jesse Thompson is the president. Lee King is vice president. We have a complete staff, well-rounded individuals, professional musical individuals that's handling the awards. So it's just a wonderful thing. Just a wonderful thing.
That's amazing. So listen, everybody, once again, this is Mr. Darrayl Simmons. And if you don't know who he is, he's always sharing and promoting himself. And it's nothing like being on a Darrayl Simmons stage.
Oh
It's nothing.
wow.
So for all of you upcoming artists that don't know who he is, if you're on the line and you know of any upcoming artists, please reach out to myself or reach out to Darrayl Simmons, and you'll find yourself on the Darrayl Simmons stage. I'm
Right.
It's powerful over there. I often hear people talk about, Darrayl Simmons. He's a big time promoter of his stage. He put people there that possibly shouldn't be there, but because of who he is, he allowed you to be on his stage. So I'm going to read just a little bit. 40 years of this thing with Darrayl Simmons. So I hope y'all are listening. And if you're not listening, you can come back and listen because this is being recorded. We're streaming from 5 different platforms tonight. And so you might see my head going from side to side because tonight we're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, we're on iHeartRadio, we're on Google, and we're also on YouTube and Facebook. So that's 6. So I'm talking to everybody that's on the platform with Lady Coaco. I see some of my viewers over there on YouTube that's on the live this evening. So you all can share also from my YouTube page. Starter Radio is here. They're making it possible. They're working behind the scenes so y'all can see and hear who Mr. Darrayl Simmons is from Jackson, Mississippi.
That's right. Jackson, Mississippi. That's right.
Yes. So let me give you all a little bit. Okay. I don't want to say everything that he said to me. He says, hashtag on my stage. Over the years, if you want to share, I'm just reading what he sent to me because I want y'all to hear who he is. This is what he gave to me. If you want to share a portion of them, we can. We're talking about what's on the stage. I really don't have anything to share, but he has so much to share. I basically got this platform to talk about and an extensive musical background to chat about with having over 40 years of experience in music. I've worked with everyone from BB King to the now Lady Coaco. That's me. Hello, everybody. I've been a musician, what is this? A radio? Is
A
that
roadie. A
rodeo?
roadie.
A road manager, a stage manager, a promoter of music, a production manager, as well as a true supporter of all genres of music. I've seen a lot of the current Southern Soul stars actually begin their careers. Many of them were even teenagers that have developed into superstars. So I guess we can elaborate on some of those things and so on. I'm just thrilled to be a part of your platform. That is Mr. Darrayl Simmons. He didn't know I was going to read it, but I made sure that I was going to read this tonight. So welcome once again, you all, to all the fans out there that follows Darrayl Simmons. This is who this man is, and everything goes on Darrayl Simmons' stage. Welcome again. I'm gonna clap.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, let me start out by saying I really started this platform as just a hobby because I do a lot of sound production work. And as I was doing those things, I started filming them. And then I started putting it on film. And I was like, man, what can I do with this? So through Facebook, I started, featuring different artists and different shows I was doing. And it just became On My Stage. And that name, a lot of people don't know, really came from the late, great Mel Waiters. We were on a show one time, and Mel walked up and said, man, you never know who's on Darrayl stage. And we just laughed about it and laughed about it. And so when I got ready to start this platform, that was the vision that I saw about On My Stage. A lot of people get it. A lot of people get it kind of construed because they think On My Stage means I'm a artist, a show promoter, and I'm doing shows and it's on my stage. But it's really not that. I'm more of a promoter of music, not a show promoter. I don't put shows together. I'm not that type of promoter. So that's kind of how that came along on Soul Music Session.
Wow.
I have worked with everybody in the business that lot of people know. I mean, from BB King. Back in the days, I ran. Me and a friend of mine named Johnny McGee, who owned the sound company. We did sound for everybody that came to Mississippi, and really kind of throughout the South, Alabama, some of Florida, Georgia. But we tagged along kind of with, in those days, was Tyrone Davis, Willie Clay, Lil Milton Campbell, Bobby Blue Bland, Marvin
Mm-hmm.
Cease, so Shirley Brown, Lynn White. I mean, we just had a variety of artists that we worked with, due to the fact that we were really working with the show promoters that were bringing those artists, and we just built a relationship with them. A lot of them, they would come to the show and see us, and they didn't even want to sound check. This man, y'all got us. Don't you know? So that's kind of how my background is went. And so far as some of
Wow.
the kids being teenagers, yeah, there are some artists that came out, some musicians that came around. I remember when they were little kids. I remember when Sir Charles Jones first came out. He was a background singer with Marvin Cease, and he told us,
How old was he when he came out?
"Hey man, I'm not sure how old he was, but
He
he,
was
he gave
young
us.
though, right?
Oh, he was young. Yeah, yeah, we were all young, matter of fact. But he gave us a CD after the show. Him and the bass player, Greg, and they were saying, "Man, this is gonna blow up. We're gonna be next." And we were like, "Oh man, yeah, yeah, yeah." But I mean, within 6 months, he had created Sir Charles Jones, and it's just carried on from there. As well as TK
Wow.
Soul, and man, I can just name artists all day that I remember. J1, all of them coming up. Get Chris Yale, just coming up, and look at them now. You know.
Yeah, I mean, like everybody is just all over the place. They're all over
Yeah.
the place. But the amazing thing is that you've been there since day one.
Oh yeah.
40 years of this thing, that's a long time. So you've seen them come, you've seen them go, you've seen them progress, you've seen them become superstars, you've seen it all.
Right. Well, now my 40 years is not just this. That 40 years is just my association with being in music, from being in high school bands and professional. My brother had a group called Show Enough from Jackson, Mississippi years ago in the 80s. And I actually played trumpet with them as a hired musician, and got a chance to travel around and do some tours and live the music life, so to say. And, that 40 years is just a generation, different generations altogether.
Wow, that's amazing. So, how do you feel like to be, amongst the great of the greats? And then, the legendaries that are gone, and some are just a few are still here, but the ones that are gone, how do you feel like to be in the seat that you're in? I mean, because let me say something. Wait a minute. I look around, I watch it. Just like you told me, you said, Lady Coco, when I go over here, I go over there, I see you everywhere. Everywhere. So I see you everywhere too. So how do you feel to be in the seat that you're in?
Hey, it feels great, but to be honest with you, just recently I started kind of feeling it. I mean, when you're actually doing it, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but hey, it feels great. I mean, it's a great feeling to have some of the elite artists know you. They come up and speak to you. You call and talk to each other, and it's just, hey man, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling.
Absolutely. I know it is. I know. So listen, you all, Darrayl Simmons, he kind of like made me look at things also a little bit different with what I'm doing now. I didn't even know who Darrayl was. So you were sharing my stuff and you were talking to me and you would tag me and everything that you do. So I'm like, who is this guy, Darrayl Simmons? And I had a conversation with somebody I never told you. And they was like, you don't know who he is? I said, no, not really. But I know he follows me very close. So they said he must see something in you that's really good and you're going to go somewhere. I said, I don't know, but I know this guy follows me. And so I just started watching Darrayl. I'm like, okay, he is somebody. And I'm just going to stay real close over there to Jackson, Mississippi. And so when you came to Meridian, I was like, oh my God. So it must be something with Lady Coco that Mr. Simmons sees. And you know what? I appreciate you so much. Like I said, I don't know your wife, but you all inspire me to just maneuver and move forward in this music thing. I don't know how much she is into the music, but you yourself is like, okay, I see something here, and I'm gonna stay right there with Darrayl Simmons because I might be on that stage one day. I just
I look forward to having you. I look forward to having. I actually came to Meridian because I wanted to. You were doing the red carpet, And I
Yeah,
was like, man, I'm going there. I want to be on the red carpet with Lady Coco, you know. So,
yes. Tell her what happened, why we didn't meet 2 years ago. That was 2 years ago you
uh,
drove there.
I don't really want to. It just things just didn't work out.
I'll
Um,
just tell you, he didn't find a proper hotel. And so he did not stay. So he went back. Hello, everybody. I see you all speaking. If you all have questions later, we're going to let you speak. So wait a minute, Darrayl. We're going to take a commercial break and we're coming right back with more of Darrayl Simmons.
Get ready for the Southern Soul live stream concert brought to you by Stunner Radio and LC Entertainment featuring Queen Danae. Come get your shit. Come get your shit. City Boy P. Mr. Fredlow. M. Callie. If you're looking for a country. Miss Pat. And hosted by the one and only Lady Coaco. Subscribe to Stunner Radio's YouTube channel and set the notifications. This event is sponsored by Crystal Star Event Center. For more information, visit stunnerradio.com. See you there.
Welcome back, you all, to the Lady Coaco Show with my guy, Darrayl Simmons. Listen, we do have that virtual show. Darrayl, I need you to be a part of that.
okay, what do you need me to do?
Now, listen, that show is going to be virtual. That is our first virtual show in Southern Soul. So it is Stunner Radio and myself, LC Entertainment. So you might be able to help us orchestrate a little bit better than what we have going. I would love to have you to be I'm going to talk to my producer about it, and I would love to have you to be a part of that. This is our first one, 2023. It's May 18th. So that was the digital video that you just saw.
Okay, no problem. Now, DJ Stunner Radio, is that DJ Stunner?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, who is DJ Stunner?
Is
it a guy?
Yeah. Man, I can't think of where he's from now. Wow, put him on the spot on that one.
No, this is something totally different. We're based out of Houston.
Okay.
So no, that's not who it is. We'll talk about it a little bit.
Because he's from Mississippi, so no, that's not him.
Oh, he's from Mississippi. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, you just can probably help us orchestrate a little bit better than what we're gonna do. Because I mean, it's already set up. We have the link out there now where you can actually click on the link and come in and watch the concert May 18th. It's gonna be right here. And I'm gonna be hosting that thing, turning it up for y'all.
Okay.
So Darrayl, I want you to take the floor and just open up and talk about how you guys started in this thing called music, how you began to interact with Southern Soul, and just what you do exactly so those artists can know exactly, especially the new ones, who Darrayl Simmons is and what you can do for them.
Okay. Well, I can help promote your music if you're new. I created this Soul Music Session page to help promote all artists in all genres of music. It's just not Southern Soul. That's why I call it Soul Music Sessions, because I mean, it's all genres of music. It can be gospel, it can be country, whatever you got to offer. Because I mean, when it comes to music, if it's good music, it's good music. I mean, it can be opera. If it's good music, it's just good music. I do try to help assist some of the artists, like on the Southern Soul end. Say if you come out with a new song, you can contact me. I can help you get a little kind of slide video or something to help promote you when you're first coming out until you get big enough to get you an official video going. Kind of shy here, so you have to help me out, Lady Coco. A lot of people don't know that I'm a very shy kind of bashful guy. So.
Yeah, so okay, what we're gonna do this. We're gonna put aside, because I'm shy too. People don't believe it. But I promise you, I am.
I don't believe that.
Yes, Darrayl, yes, I am. But you know what I do? I know I smile, right? I smile a lot. So I allow my smile to get me over like, oh my God, I don't know who's going to be there. And I've learned how to see people and don't see people and just go ahead and do what I'm supposed to do. So tonight, I want you to elaborate on all of it. Like, you've been doing this for 40 years. And a lot of people may know, like Big Rob, he knows about it.
Oh yeah.
Yayo, he knows about it. Omar, they know about it. And so for the ones that don't know, they need to know exactly who Darrayl Simmons is. Now, when he choke up, I'm gonna come in and say something because y'all on the stage now. Y'all want to get on this stage.
Well, yeah, I have worked with some of the greats and built relationship with them as well. Actually, I'm just a stage manager. This is how it kind of started out. I mean, if I back all the way up to my beginning, it was like I was in the band, like everybody else played in the band. Did some stuff at church. Started getting in groups, and actually, when I was doing the musician type stuff, I wasn't making a lot of money. I ain't making a lot of money now, but I wasn't making a lot of money. So I got on the production end because I found out that if I do production, the band guys will pay me even when they don't get paid because I became an expense. And so I just took that and just took that little niche and just trying to nurture it on. Uh, I'm very particular about things that happen on my stage. When you're on my stage, I mean, everything is pretty much set. Uh, I try to work with the artists, try to get everybody comfortable. As I got to going over the years and got more into production management, I can work with a lot of artists. A lot of them have a lot of respect for me, and I do appreciate that. Where we on shows, and sometimes those egos get in the way. Somebody might say, "Well, man, I think Big Rob was on here was telling me one time. Sometimes they get in those egos, and I can step in and say, "Hey, man, y'all calm down. Hey, let's do this. Let's do this." And by the grace of God, a lot of times it works for me. The artists will listen, and it makes the show successful, and we all get paid and go home. So a lot of it has to do with professionalism and then the attitude that you have with the other person, with the artist and so forth.
Absolutely. So
It
let me
all it
ask
all
you
works
this
for me.
question though. So, what do they have to do to get on Darrayl Simmons stage?
Well, to get on my stage now is just gotta get with the right promoter because I'm not a show promoter, so I'm not promoting the shows. I mean, I'm just a sound guy basically, in production manager. So I mean, you got to get on the shows, you got to get the right promoters, and your song has to be hot or whatever it takes for that show promoter to put you on the show. And just what happens if I'm doing sound or the promoter would get me to be the production manager, then bam, you're on my stage because that's kind of how that little facade came up. It's on my stage. It's from me working, not me promoting the show myself.
Absolutely. From the right. So now, once they get on your stage, like where can they be seen? Once you get them connected and you share it out, where can they be seen? Like once they've been on your stage, where can they
Uh,
find?
Man, I got a YouTube channel. I put you on YouTube. Of course, my Soul Music Session page I got about 7,000 members and so many different groups that I'm in. And you never know who's watching you never know who's watching Soul Music Session.
You never
I mean,
know.
you got all kind of musical professionals. I mean, you got attorneys, you got promoters, you got DJs. I mean, you just got fans. You just don't never know who's watching. So that helps promote you. And then, like I said, I do have my YouTube channel. So, just put you out there. And a lot of times I just do little things like little drops I have on my page with artists, just like a radio drop. You may hear them say, you're watching Soul Music Sessions with Darrayl Simmons, I'm Jeter Jones. Or you may hear him say, you never know who's on Darryl's stage, I'm Willie Clayton. So, all those little drops and all that, and it's all formatted that kind of way. So, you just
But
have to get on.
that's so good because I don't think we have too many people in Southern Soul that does that or out there
I
with
got,
the
I got, well,
media.
excuse me, I got a bunch of them I got a bunch of them, man. I mean, I've had artists come up to me, and sometimes new artists they don't even know it. They be like, "Man, I want to do that thing you got. I want to say I'm on your stage," because it's like a little commercial type thing. And a lot of times it's just like radio, but it's just video. And I actually have a segment on there I call Video Radio. I got different segments on so many systems that I have on my stage, video radio. We have Food for Your Soul, which is more a gospel kind of thing. Food for Your Soul, if you follow what I'm saying. So it's just a good little platform.
Yeah.
And
And
I mean, I'm
it is
proud of it. I'm proud of it.
so now listen, like when we do the interviews and you see some of the artists that you don't know, what would you see in one of those artists that you don't know on an interview that you would want to say, okay, let me take this one and put him on Darrayl Simmons stage, and you just do a video
Well,
clip? What what
well,
what
well,
what do you see like to make you grab one of those artists?
well, if they're on a video, I mean, of course, I like to hear how they talk and how they carry themselves. But for me, I got to hear your music, and your music has to be, you know, your music got to be pretty good. you know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, you've taken some of mine. I know that some of the
yeah.
people I've interviewed, you've taken some and put them out there. So I've been excited about that. I'm looking at some people on here. Hello, everybody. This is Darrayl Simmons.
Right. Hello, everybody. But look, I do take interviews and from you and some other podcast professionals that I do feature on my page because some of my supporters may not see them on your page. You know what I'm saying? They might not see that
Absolutely.
interview. So yeah, I take that interview and I'll spread it around. I put it on YouTube and so forth, and I get hits off of it. Yeah, of course. But that's just the way I promote. I promote every anything about music. I promote. I'm not just a soul, just solid Southern soul. And I do follow Southern soul, and it's a big deal, and it's growing. Uh, I have some thoughts about that. I don't know if I want to share them, but the Southern soul thing is growing.
Right.
It,
So
it's
why wouldn't you share? Because I mean,
yeah,
you've been in
I don't like to.
20.
No, I don't like to get kind of caught up in that. See, that thing is kind of crazy right now. So
Okay.
but first of all, they really need to get together and get united.
Mhm.
Maybe get a coalition or something, and everybody trying to get together and stop all the crazy stuff that goes on in Southern Soul. Because it's a good thing, and it's growing. It's growing. But
It is. I mean, it's growing daily. Me myself personally, I'm bold enough to speak on. I think we need more structure
yeah,
in
it
Southern
does.
Soul. We don't have a go-to where they can go to, and see like, okay, does this individual fit in Southern Soul? Because it seems like everybody can just jump in. Southern Soul is not new. It's not new. It's been out there for a very long time. But with the new and upcoming artists that's in Southern Soul, if they don't have a platform where they can go to say, hey, what do you think about this artist? What do you think about that artist? Do they fit here? Because there are rappers in Southern Soul. I don't knock
Mm-hmm,
it.
mm-hmm,
There are some that can sing in Southern Soul. There are
mm-hmm.
some that are just throwing stuff out there. They're in Southern Soul. So I look at this like, where do we go when it comes to Southern Soul? I mean, Marvin Seas,
Yeah.
Tyrone Davis, Mel Waiters, all of them was in Southern Soul.
No. See, that's where people get it construed at. Those were not actually Southern Soul artists. Those were
Are they
soul
blues
artists.
artists? Do you call
No, they
them
weren't
blues?
blues. They weren't blues. They were soul artists. Johnny
Soul
Taylor,
artists.
all of they were soul artists,
So
not
how do we get
necessarily.
it misconstrued? Okay, that's a good one. How do we get it misconstrued where it's soul artists and Southern Soul? Where do we draw
because
that line?
because because Southern Soul is all over the place. So they place themselves as blues artists and Southern Soul, and they place themselves as Southern Soul instead of soul. That's what I'm saying. They got to get some kind of structure, and they got to stop all the
There's no
independence.
structure.
See, Southern Soul is so independent. That's why artists just jump in because it's just independent. You jump in, you make that money yourself, and you don't care about really growing. You're just caring about making money. You're not caring about. I hear music that's not actually mastered. I mean, you just put it out and that's it, And so all that stuff has to get fixed. And it's not a thing about. I always hear people say, "Well, they can't sing. They can't sing in a whole bunch of genres." You know, it ain't about singing. If the people like the song, it's gonna be a hit. I don't care if you can sing or not. If the
Absolutely
fans like
right.
it, it's gonna be a hit. And
Absolutely right.
that's just music. And I always try to tell people this, and I just want to say this: the first thing you got to do is understand that the music business and the business of music are two totally different things. That's the first lesson that you got to learn when you come in here. They're two totally different things. So you just can't jump in here and think you're gonna make a lot of money and you're gonna do this. No, it's all a building. And these cats nowadays sometimes they don't get one song. They have a hit song, they don't give it time enough to mature and grow before they come with another song. You know, and sometimes it takes a couple of years to get that song really. Man, I look at my friend LJ Evans. LJ is singing some songs that are hits. Now he got some new stuff that sounds good, but he got some of those other songs that were way back in the day, and he's nurtured those songs and matured those songs, and those songs have become big songs for him now.
Absolutely.
And that's what you got to do. I mean, of course, the thing with King George, I mean, hey, that's gonna happen. But King George, some of those tunes I'm learning that have been out over 5 years, but it's his time, and that's what you have to do. A lot of artists don't understand. You have to wait your time. Sometimes it might not be your time right now. You know, you have to wait until it's time for you to. You got to be ready. You got to be ready when it's time. So I don't know how I want to go with that because I don't like to get into that because I get myself in trouble.
No, you're not getting into you know what, this interview is different than like, okay, we're interviewing an artist. And so when you're interviewing an artist, you got to be a little bit like on that side over there where you got to be very careful. But when it comes to you, you know, you're not a promoter. You know, you're just out here working in this thing called music. And so they need to know that the ABC, they need to know the XYZ when it comes to music. Like you just said, you know, Mel Waiters, Tyrone Davis, those guys weren't Southern soul. It was soul music.
Right. And it's a lot of them. I mean, man, Omar's not Southern soul. He's a soul singer. Willie Clayton's not Southern soul. They're soul singers. You know, Stan Mosley, those are soul singers. And I met a guy in Chicago. I was in Chicago this weekend for the Southern Soul R&B concert series 2. And I met a guy there named, I think it's New Orleans Bow, Beau. This guy is phenomenal. I mean, man, he is phenomenal. You know, but those are soul singers.
Soul singers.
And
so how would they know, like in Southern Soul? I mean, it's just wide open and it's so independent. How would they consider themselves a soul singer versus a Southern soul singer? I mean, how would they decipher themselves? Like, they don't even know. So what would cause them to know, like, okay, I'm Southern soul, or I'm soul music, I'm blues. I mean, now we know rap.
Hey, that's all. To me, that's all up to how the artist presents himself. I mean, if he wants to be if he's a soul artist and he wants to be a Southern soul, then I mean that's what he say. But I mean, so far as me as being in music a long time, if he could sing it, I would say, man, this guy's a soul singer. He's not Southern soul.
So what about the rappers that are in Southern soul? What's your take on that?
Hey, I don't take it no more than when the rappers was in R&B or rappers was in country. You got rappers in gospel. I mean, it's just a form of music. It's all music. You know, you just got to make it fit. And then a lot of times this rap stuff, man. Even though it's the same thing with music, but even with the rappers, you got to talk about the right things. Now, you can't come up, you know, talking like the old rappers and degrading women and all this kind of stuff. No, we don't want that. So it's all about what you talk about. But so far as my take on just the rappers in Southern Soul is no different than the rappers in other genres of music.
Absolutely.
You know? It just has that rap has to fit with the genre of music that you want.
Absolutely. So if they come in rapping about sex and all of that stuff, then okay. I'm not going to even say that. I'm just going to go right back to what I said. There has to be structure. We need structure. If there's no structure, then we're going to fall, because you can't just bring anything into soul music, and you can't just bring anything into Southern soul. It has to be meaningful. And when you start putting other stuff in there, like, you know, the real rappers, they talk about the streets, they talk about the upbringing. It's just anything goes. If you're going to be a Southern soul rapper, it should be clean cut. I don't care who you are coming in this Southern soul. And it doesn't mean that you can't pass, but you have to pass the right way. That's my take on it.
Well, that's true, but that's not going to happen until they get a structure. As long as Southern soul isn't structured, I feel like they're going to continue to bring in anything. I'll put it like that. That's what I'm saying now, because I hear Southern soul songs now. It's not even mastered. You know, they didn't take time to get it mastered. They put it out and they immediately just you know, That was it. No, you got to master that song. You got to get it together. Now, don't get me wrong when we say Southern Soul, because some of these elite artists are considered Southern Soul, like Tucker and all these guys. So they're not in this mess. You know, they're not into that. They do everything right. They do everything right. You know, and Southern Soul is growing so well till I'm starting to see some of the R&B artists want to come back down here. You know?
Oh yes, they're
coming. Yeah, because they see that it's money down here to be made. It just has to be structured right. And then they acknowledge those elite artists that's in there. They're acknowledging the Omars and the Calvin Richardsons and the Willie Claytons and the TKs. They're acknowledging those people. You know,
absolutely,
they really are. In the OB Canada, I can't get with the OB. You know, but I'm so good friends with everybody. I don't even want to start naming names, man, because I can just go down the line. You know, with artists that I know that, you know, I want to get in the name calling. But there's some fantastic artists out here. And a lot of them I really just don't consider Southern Soul. I consider them soul.
Soul music. Okay, that came from Darrayl Simmons in Jackson, Mississippi. We're going to take a commercial break, and we're coming back with more of Darrayl Simmons on the Lady Coaco Show.
Streetwise Entertainment presents Pre-Memorial Day Party and Concert, Sunday, May 28th at Club Elegant, featuring live performances from Miss Pat and City Boy P. We're going to be barbecuing starting at 3 p.m. and food is free with your ticket. Goes for the party swing open at 7 p.m. It's the Pre-Memorial Day Party and Concert, Sunday, May 28th at Club Elegance, 208 North Lafayette Street, Mobile. For more info, call 251-423-1400.
Okay, we are back with more of Darrayl Simmons, Jackson, Mississippi. Okay, Darrayl, we got to get down to the nitty gritty of this thing when it calls Southern Soul, soul music, blues, rap, all of it. We want to talk about not having structure, and we need structure. What do you think it would take for us to get a team of people or organization in Southern Soul where we can get on the right track? What do you think it would take?
I think it'll take building a like a coalition of promoters and artists and fans to help get it structured to make it, you know, to get some kind of rules, sort of say, quote rules, to get it structured to you know, to become a full-time genre. Because I mean, we got to get some kind of structure. It's like if you're not in that on that bandwagon with country people, with the country music people, then they don't mess with you. So and sort of the same thing with gospel too. They don't mess with you. So, you know, we just got to get some kind of structure going, and we also got to educate a little more. You know, you really got to understand the business end of it, and just understand the music business period. You know, all this, you know, somebody else writing your music and all this, and then when the song becomes a hit, you think you're gonna get this. No, it don't work like that. I mean, go back and look at Cadillac Records. I mean, it don't work like that. You know, you got to invest into yourself, and that's something that a lot of soul artists need to find out. They really need to dig down in there and learn the music business. But that's what I think it'll take. I think it just take a group of professional individuals to just get together and start laying some ground rules, and, you know, making it happen.
Absolutely. I mean, we need structure. I mean, anytime, you know, you don't have structure, it's going to go left. I mean, I'm looking at, we have a lot of talented artists that are in Southern Soul. Some are very, very new, but a lot of the new ones come in with the best of music.
Right.
They just don't know how to get out there and push it the right way. And so, you know, Facebook has made it possible for so many people, especially in Southern Soul, to where you can just go on Facebook and you start like just scamming through, and you're gonna run across somebody that's doing something, or somebody that can help you get to the next level. And I'm hoping. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. how do you feel about live music opposed to the track acts, the track shows and that kind of stuff? Because to me, a lot of the Southern soul artists are not really into the bands and getting the real music. See, that's soul artists. They want a band. They want the real music. They want
It's
they want the
coming.
chorus.
It's
Yeah.
coming. Let me tell you something. Before I even tapped into Southern Soul, I love to go like to carnivals and things like that where they have the live bands,
Mm-hmm.
and I could just sit there and watch those bands go. And
Mm-hmm.
so if you don't have a band, you need to get one because that's what's going to get you to the next level.
Right.
Like real talk. If you have a band and you say, you know what, now you're not trying to over exceed you and your band, and you got a reasonable price, guess what? They're gonna book you on that show because
Mm-hmm.
that band means everything. I don't know about Southern Soul just yet, but if you do have one, Darrayl, you on your plus, you on your A game.
Well, that's kind of the difference that I see between like soul artists and Southern soul. A lot of the Southern soul artists are just like doing track action, and some of them are actually singing with the CD and that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. Kind of
yeah.
takes me back to the rap days. Back in the rap days, the rappers used to do the same thing. They play the CD and they'd be up there performing, and the mic won't even be in their mouth, but the verses are going.
Right.
Now you say, "Wow, I mean, what is this?" So I see a lot of that on the Southern soul end opposed to the soul end.
They're singing, a lot of them are singing over the track. And that is not good. When you sing over the track, I mean,
Yeah,
no.
I know. And don't get me wrong now, I'm not saying that like during the pandemic, yeah, a lot of people were doing that because I mean it wasn't worth taking the bands and even when people were having live shows, they were doing the track shows instead of bringing the band and everybody. But man, I can remember back uh when I used to do like shows with BB King and all those guys, man, Mega Ever Homecoming that we used to have down here in Mississippi. You can come up there and sing a track. I mean, even the opening night, they may sit there and listen to you, but if you do more than one song, they man, get him out of there. We want where the man with the drums. They don't play no guitar. That man ain't singing. It used to be all that kind of stuff. And I think we really need to
Exactly.
get back. We really need to get back to that. And with me being a horn player, of course, I love live music. So we really need to get back to that. But in Southern Soul, I do see a lot of just the track acts.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. I mean, you know what? Until they understand, like, you can rent a band. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to have your own band. Let's say there's a show and this particular artist came with their band. You can actually, talk to that artist and their band and say, hey, I would love for you to help me on stage with your band. Give them something. I don't know what they're going to charge, but you can do that too because they are looking for bands versus just the tracks.
Well, that's true too, but I don't agree with that because
which part you don't agree?
I'm just old school.
Band?
No, I'm just old school like this. If I got my band, I ain't got the business plan for you.
But they don't have a band and they want a band.
But they got to get their own band. I mean,
but what if they can't afford? Wait, Darrayl. What if they can't afford their own band? And there's bands out there that will work with you.
Yeah, but if they can't afford their band, they're not ready for that. They're not ready for that period. That 6
They're not ready for that setting.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm just old school. Like that's just me.
No, I agree with
I'll
you.
take you back. I'll take you back to like, say for instance, and I keep referring back to Cadillac Records, the movie. I don't know if you ever seen the movie Cadillac Records, but they didn't like to share the band. When the guy tried to talk to Howlin' Wolf about the band, he said, "Look, you talk to me. That's my band. They don't listen to you, And that's just kind of like me. I don't have a problem with if I had a band, my musicians playing with somebody else. But if you're on my show, you're not just gonna come in and say, "Man, let me see if the band play." No, I don't. I don't do it. I don't do that. Okay. Maybe in gospel music, because I see a lot of gospel artists do stuff like that. But most soul music, they be like,
you're not. Well, I don't think you can use LJ's band.
Right. Not the Nick Bone band. Yeah, exactly. And I don't like that part of it. But yeah, I think they need to get more into doing live music and show the real professionalism that they got. And a lot of Southern soul artists don't know. I'm not gonna say that. But anyway, yeah, they need to just
No. You have to say it because it's going to happen. See, we're already saying we don't have structure, so that's where you come in.
Yeah, but I'll say that part I was about to say when we get together with a coalition of people and I'm not
okay. Yeah. But you do agree that we need more live music.
Oh yeah.
I totally agree. There's a young man I just started promoting about a week ago. He's from Mississippi, and guess what? He has a band already.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing his thing, and that band sounds good.
Right.
It's really, really good. So I would love to see, especially some of the women too, to come out with their bands, and just make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want everybody sounding the same, looking the same, doing the same thing. So when you come out there with that band, it's amazing.
And there are certain settings that track stuff work, like on award shows and stuff. Yeah, you may want to do tracks, but even at the Jackson Music Awards, man, we have an orchestra, and I mean, if you get the music to them in time, they can learn your track and play it for you. But yeah, in instances like that, yeah, tracks do good because sometimes on award shows you may only have 4 to 6 minutes for a track. You can just do one track.
Exactly right.
But yeah, we even have an orchestra that will learn your music for you and play that music for you. So live music is, that's just the deal.
Oh, it is. I mean, because you can go to the carnivals and different events, and bring a band, and they love the band. I mean, it might be that one band that night, on whatever event they have going, and you play the whole night. But guess somebody's gonna remember that. Oh, I was there, and it was a band playing. Especially if you're a promoter and you want an artist to come with the band. Now, you guys, some promoters out there, they just want track shows. And there's nothing wrong with it if that's what they want. But you also have promoters that are looking for bands too.
Right. Well, I'm gonna tell you, my take on those track shows. Eventually, they're gonna go back to bands, because pretty soon I think everybody's gonna get tired of track. If the promoters stop paying them, the fans stop coming. The artists gonna fit in. And I'm not trying to knock any artists or anything. I'm just saying if those things was to shut down on them, then they would have to come on back to the live music,
Right.
Because some of these artists are charging a lot of money and getting the track shows, and that's kind of, but I think they're gonna tighten it up.
Right. So let's talk about this. So let's say for a track show, right? It's a track show, and someone is charging between 25 and 45. What's your take on that? It's a track show.
Hey man, if that artist is putting butts in the seats and that artist is an elite artist, he deserves to get that. If that's what his pay is. I mean, a person's pay is a person's pay. But I'm saying someone that I put a song out last month, and just because you have an elite artist on your show, I come up and I say, well, he paying him 30, man. You gotta give me $5,000. Because you don't want to get seen. Why should your promoter pay you all that money? You're not putting those people. The people are not there to see. So I think some of those artists coming up like that need to realize that. I think their pricing is too high. And the elite artists, I mean, you always. If you wanted the OJs, if you wanted Frankie Beverly, you had to pay for them. You want Janet Jackson, you want Beyonce, you got to pay for that. You want Patti LaBelle, you got to pay for that. So in this Southern soul scene, if you want the lead artist, you have to pay for that. You have to pay for that. And if you're a lower class artist just coming in, you need to lower your price and try to get on those shows so you can get seen, so people can start knowing when you get your music played. Don't worry about it. That's what I'm saying. You can't come here and think you're gonna make a fast buck right quick. No, those guys will pay their dues.
Right. So wait a minute. Hold on. So let's say an artist come in, and I mean that song, they came out with a new song. They just got here. The song is hot. Everybody likes the song. It's being played everywhere. So do you think it's possible for that artist to come in, bam? I mean, they come in like banging at 35, 45 off rip.
No. I take you back to like King George. When he first came out, he wasn't getting the money he was getting now. Because he moved fast. He had a hit song. But when he first came out, he was not getting that money like that. You're not just gonna hit the door and get the money like that, you know. Because you got to pay some dues. You got to get and if you put a song out and say it's out 6 months to a year, the song is still not hot. You got to develop that song. You know, you got to develop it and you got to make it. But yeah, I don't think nobody comes in just bam making that money like that. I just not me. You know,
right?
Like I said, I didn't see that with King George. Huh?
You shouldn't. I mean, my take is, I do a lot of booking behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I look at this right here. If you've been here for 3 months, 6 months, and yeah, your song is hot, everybody is playing it. But how hot is it to get on stage, for a promoter to say, you know what? Okay, you just got here, your song is good. You got one song that's hot. Now, how many people are going to come to that show with your one hot song? And now you're going to come in, of course, and do at least 2 or 3 cover tunes, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to, but your one hot song,
Mm-hmm.
how many people are going to come? Can you come at 3,500 and bring that many people to put those butts in the seat?
I don't think so. And also, when you say your song is hot, the music industry looks at the sales and stuff. They're not looking at anything else. I mean, they looking at how they making money. So I just don't see how you can come in and want all that money and you're just a new artist. I just don't. When you're up against the elite artists, I just don't see it. Just don't see it. I think you got to work. You got to work. You got to work. You got to pay your dues, and you got to learn the business.
So basically, you got to put some time under your belt. You got to
get some time. That's right.
Okay.
How
do you feel about the new artists still doing promos today? Like, you think? I mean, they just came out. They don't even. Wait. They don't even have a price range because they don't know the prices, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, somebody might come and say, "Well, $300 plus a room," right? Or you tell them, you know what? Nobody really knows you, and so we're gonna put you on the show as a promo. What's your take on that?
Hey man, that's called selling yourself, and there's nothing wrong with it. Even if they offer you $300 in a room, man, that's a little travel money for you making it, and then they give you a place to lay your head, and then you get a chance to promote yourself. I'm gonna tell you a little story. I remember when LJ, and I know I keep talking about LJ, but I remember when LJ first came out. Man, he was following the sound. We were the sound company. He was following, we could be in Greenville tonight. LJ would come in. Hey man, who the promoter? He said, that's the promoter over there. He go, man, I want to see if he let me sing this one song, man. This is all I want to do. He got to pay me now. I just want to sing this song. And he was actually selling CDs kind of out of his car, And we would leave. He said, where y'all going tomorrow? I said, man, we be in Vicksburg tomorrow. Well, we get to Vicksburg. Who we see? LJ. Hey man, who the promoter? Does the same thing because he was selling himself. He was promoting himself. And a lot of times he wasn't getting paid. They wasn't even giving him a hotel room. But he was out there hustling and promoting himself. And that's what a lot of these new artists got to realize, man, you got to get out and hustle. Everything is just not going to be given to you. You got these guys that pay their dues. See,
it's so true. Here's the thing. I've spoken to artists where they said this, like Lady Coaco, I had to pay to be on certain shows. I said, hey, we had to pay because nobody knew me. I wasn't getting booked, so the promoter didn't charge me in line, but they said, okay, if you really want to get on this stage with certain individuals, they had to pay to do it. So I actually get it now. So even when you coming into this business and nobody knows you, if somebody say, you know what, this is a big show we got going, we're going to put you there as a promo, somebody's going to see you. And so maybe the next show or the show after that, you'll get paid something.
Right.
Come to those other promoter shows.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying we have to go back to, there's no structure in Southern Soul. So we need to get it structured. We need to talk about like, hey, how do we move forward? We have good artists in Southern Soul. They have good music. They're clean cut. They want to get on stage. They want to perform. So where do they go? They have to have a place to go and someone to talk to say, hey, you can go here, you can go there. But before you move forward, these are the things that are required of you to do. They don't have that. So that's why the way they feel, they just out there. It's just like a fish in the water, just floating. They don't know where to go.
Right. But see, a lot of times they don't know they can invest in themselves. You don't have to have a promoter to do a show for you. You can do your own show.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
you
what
can
I
invest.
do.
You can invest in yourself and do. For years, I traveled around with some of these artists in Southern Soul. Now, some of the elite artists, I remember traveling around with them, and they were actually promoting the shows themselves, or two of them get together, and they say, "Hey, man, we're gonna do a little tour thing, little 3 month thing. We're gonna travel over Mississippi, and we're gonna do these shows. They go in and get the little town hall. They're going to pay a little advertising to the little radio stations, and they make a big deal out of it. They push it real hard." To it turns into a major concert in these little towns where people going out buying clothes, getting their hair done, getting their nails done. They come into the show, and they made money that way. And it wasn't a promoter involved. It was an actual artist that's doing it. And there's some
Absolutely.
artists,
You know what?
there's some artists still do that today.
Yeah, you
You
know what? A lot of them are doing it right now.
Mm-hmm.
In order to be seen and allow, the promoters or whoever else, their fans, to know
Mm-hmm.
that they are out there. That's exactly what's going on today. They're
Right.
promoting themselves. They're putting those shows on. They're touring. They're doing it all.
And a lot of times, you don't have to go to a promoter. And I'm saying this to all the artists, especially the up and coming artists. A lot of times, you don't have to go to a promoter and try to get on the show just because he got some mainstream artists on the show. Go to those shows when he's just doing like a little showcase of some local artists or something. You know, go to some of those shows and say, man, I don't want anything. Just let me get on. Because you're trying to build a fan base. You don't always have to try to get on because this artist is going to pull 5,000 people. No. Go to those shows when there ain't but 200 or 300 people, when there ain't but 30 people out there, and sell yourself. Because those same 30 people will come see you when it's 5,000, and they'll bring their friends. And then it's 10,000, and you see one family, and it multiplies. But a lot of artists don't look at it like that.
No, they don't. But they need to. They need to. I
Mhm.
mean, because if you got a small venue of people versus a huge venue of people, guess what?
Right.
Just like what you just said, somebody saw you when it was 200-300 people. How
Mhm.
about somebody seeing you now? It's thousands of people.
The people, right.
So
So,
they have to realize that this thing is not easy. Music is not
mhm.
easy. It looks like it's easy when you see someone on stage, you see them constantly traveling. You don't know if they're getting paid or not.
Right. And just the traveling, I'm glad you said it. Just the traveling life is a monster by itself. I mean, a lot of fans don't understand what these artists go through on this road, man. I mean, look, I tell you like this. The other night, LJ came from Meridian to Chicago. See
Mhm.
what I'm saying? So that's a big travel. I mean,
Oh yeah.
sometimes you don't understand. Fans they don't understand that. And this goes for me too as a sound guy and being on the road and stuff. Man, we don't get holiday pay. You don't get sick leave.
Right.
When they say you on the show, the fans expect for you to be on the show. If you got the flu, they expect you to get up there and sing. Man, they don't. A lot of them don't take it lightly when you say my voice is going, I can't sing. They get mad. They done bought tickets. They done prepared themselves. So being an artist is really a hard job. It's not just in the studio recording and you see them on stage all nice looking. Man, these guys pay their dues and they live a rough life on that road, man. I mean, really do.
Absolutely.
And living
Absolutely.
out of hotel rooms and sometimes not seeing family and leaving on special event. I mean, family day and Christmas and all. They out there spending it with you and time to
Mhm.
you. I think sometimes people take this stuff for granted. The music
Right. They
industry
do.
is real.
You know what? You're so right. And when I interviewed Vic Allen and Terry Wright a couple of months
Mm-hmm,
ago, they
mm-hmm.
talked about this same thing. Like every year they were on the road,
Yep.
for the holidays. I think you were on that interview. And so they
Right.
said they finally got to the point where, they've missed out on so much of family and their children. So now on the holidays, they're not booking no shows, but that
Right.
comes from experience and being out there on that road for years and years and years. And you
Right.
miss out on the children growing up. The wife
Right.
is home, and you're in and out the door, in and out the
Right.
door.
Right. Right.
So you get to that point where it is a holiday and you don't
Right.
want to miss it anymore. So now the artist that's been out there for a long time, they're not taking shows when
Right.
it
They
comes
they
to
can
Thanksgiving,
choose.
Christmas,
Right.
New Year's.
Right. They can choose how they want to nitpick on that stuff.
Exactly right.
And believe it or not, it's funny you say Terry and Vic because I might have been on some of those shows out there with them at that same time, so I know exactly what they're talking about. I
Yes.
know exactly what they're talking about. So,
Yes.
but it's just the music life is just a rough life.
It is. But you know, a lot of times too, even now, the artists that's out there, the upcoming ones, they have a regular job. And
Right,
so it's
right,
not
right,
easy. You know, they're punching the clock, 8 to 5, 9 to 5, 2 to 10, 10 to 6, and then they're still trying to do the shows. So that's hard also for them trying to work a full-time job. They have a family and then get on stage and perform.
right.
So I
Exactly
can
right.
understand where they say, I got this hot song. I'm not going nowhere for free. I'm just not doing it. But if you want to become a professional artist, you have to sacrifice. You really do. You have to sacrifice. And some of those shows you're not going to get paid, but that exposure means everything.
Everything.
You'll never know who's going to see you.
That's right. That's right. And that's where my slogan is. You never know who's on Darryl's stage.
You never know who's on
You
Darryl's
never
stage.
know who's watching. You never know who's watching. And I don't just promote artists and stuff. I mean, I do DJs. I got a bunch of DJ friends, that I feature on my page. And it's just a pleasure when I meet people. When I was in Chicago this past weekend, man, I was meeting people from Detroit. I met DJ Spoon, and I was starstruck because I see him on Facebook and so forth. Never knew
All the time.
Never knew that he knew little bit of me.
Uh-huh.
And I don't take that stuff for granted. I get people come up to me and want to take a picture, and I be like, with me, and they want to take a picture with you, and that's amazing.
You just don't give yourself that credit, but you know what? That comes from you being humble. You're a humble person, and you say little bit of me, but people got you way up there on that high plateau, and it's good that you're a humble person. I mean, you're not just a little bitty person, but you call you, and I look at it the same way too. Like, oh my God, I do the same thing. So that's just you being humble, but people know who you are. A lot of people know who you are.
Well, I certainly appreciate it, and I owe all that to God, and I say that over and over again because God made that happen. But yeah, man, I just met some fantastic people, and I don't mind hipping somebody, or making somebody feel good, I know you had Gerard Raven on here a while back, and he was telling you about. He sent me this song. He sent me this song about the "I Love My Blues," and he just wanted me to listen to it. And I was listening to it that night, and I was sitting there and I said, "Man, I'm gonna make something out of this." So I started making something, and I just sent it to him. He was so thrilled to it, it almost made me cry. I mean, he really did, because he was just, when I spoke to him, talked to him, he was just elated about it. It almost made me cry, man. He was like, "Man, let me pass a million over this thing." I was just woodshedding, as we call it. I was just messing around.
Wow.
And, he took it to another level, and that kind of stuff just warms your heart, makes you feel good, But I'm willing to help any artist. Of course, now when I do those things, I do charge a little something because it does take time to do that. So I just want people.
It does. It does. It does. So let me ask you something before we get up out of here, because you're going to have to come back and do a part 3, because this is our second go around. You got to come back and do it again, because I know you have so much information to give to the artists, especially the new and upcoming. You've worked with so many, like, for years and years, and you've been in this thing for 40 years, so you know the business. And even though you don't want to just speak on all of it, I think as time go on and we begin to talk about it, we're going to give them more information to where they're going to say, okay, I want to see and watch and know who this Darrayl Simmons is, because your platform is huge. It really is. And so sometimes, when people are working behind the scenes and you see a lot, you don't say a lot, you see a lot, and about right now where we're going to be in the next 5 to 10 years. I can just guarantee it. And so as we continue to do what we do, people are going to listen to you because they know that you've been there. And so sometimes it takes stepping on a toe or two to say, hey, you got to do it this way or that way, or you're not going to make it, because you've seen so many make it.
Right.
What would you say to the upcoming artists that's in Southern soul or soul music, blues, R&B, whatever they want to call themselves? What would you say to them?
The same thing that every other kind of elite artist that you ask that question would say. Learn the business. Learn the difference between the music business and the business of music. You got to do that if you want to be successful. It's the same. If you want to own your own company, the first thing you got to do is learn the business of that company. And this is no different. So yeah, that's the first thing I tell them. You know, don't come
Learn
in
the
here expecting
business.
nothing overnight. You got to learn the business. You got to pay your dues. You got to get in there and grind, as my grandfather used to say. You got to get in there and grind. You got to nurture it. You know, don't come in here just expecting something. And that is my message for any up and coming artists. And an artist in a message to the artist that's not up and coming but not there yet. You just got to keep grinding. You got to keep doing the same thing.
Absolutely. So I got
And
one more thing I want to. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, and improving on that. You got to keep grinding, even though you then came from step 1 to step 2. You trying to get to step 3, so you still gotta nurture that step 2. You know, you gotta keep grinding, keep learning, keep listening, and until you get to that elite level. You know.
Absolutely. So listen, we're going to take one more commercial break. I want to come back and talk about the award shows. And we're going to take it out on the award shows. We're going to talk about how or what it takes for artists to be nominated and possibly win an award. So it's the Lady Coaco Show, y'all, with my guy, Darrayl Simmons. Y'all stay tuned. We're going to take this last commercial break and we will be right back.